Afternoon, everybody. I hope you're able to enjoy this sunshine on Easter Day, no matter where you are or what your circumstances. And I hope that sunshine is bringing a little bit of joy to everybody in their particular challenges right now. I'm looking at how people are coping under this extraordinary pressure and the varying degrees of stress that people are exhibiting. And it's made me think, we're all looking for solutions to this virus, this problem. Many of us realise that this is unlikely to be a one-off event, not least of which because viruses mutate. They're very intelligent life forms, organisms. And we know that pretty much every year there is a flu outbreak of varying degrees of intensity. And the feeling is that we will get some variety, mutation of Covid-19 probably coming back this winter. So obviously our thoughts go to how do we prepare for this? In the interim, everybody pretty much around the world is upping their efforts to try and find tests if you've had the virus, tests if you've developed immunity to it, a vaccine to protect against it in the future. And of course, we can look to ourselves. How do we prepare for another epidemic or even pandemic? How do we make ourselves more likely to get through it with minimum of suffering? And of course, it always comes down to resilience. Physical resilience, mental and emotional resilience. Physical resilience, well, we know the expert advice. A healthy diet, avoiding things that we know have links to disease. Eating in moderation would be an amazing habit to adopt. Avoiding those activities, again, that weaken our immune system, that positively contribute to raising our potential to contract disease. We know all of this. To what degree we align with it and we actually take it on board is up to individual choice, of course it is. Mental and emotional resilience, now that's more tricky. How do you feel less fear as this pandemic sweeps around the globe and takes people at will? How do we rise to this challenge, see it as an opportunity, notwithstanding traumatic events of personal loss and grief and suffering? How do we look at coming out of this? How do we prepare ourselves? How do we build this inner resilience? And for me, it comes down to one basic thing, and I've mentioned it before, authenticity. This period of reflection that the lockdown is offering us gives us the chance to look at every aspect of our life where we are not living in accordance with our truth, authentically aligned with our values. It gives us the opportunity to have a good old hard look at the compromises we have made in the past, the reasons for them, and what compromises are we still making in our present day? How are those compromises affecting our mental and emotional health, our state of well-being? Are we compromising our emotional, mental well-being in the pursuit of material wealth? Are we driven by a need to earn more, to create more financial security, which should give us greater stability for family, friends, ourselves? Are we putting ourselves under extraordinary amounts of pressure and stress in order to achieve that financial security and safety that we believe it brings? Because actually what we've been shown with COVID-19 is that if your health is impaired in any way, you are more likely to suffer if you catch the virus, if you contract the virus. That your natural resilience, your physical resilience, if that is in any way undermined or depleted, your immune system is lowered, you are less likely to be able to cope with the virus and get on top of it and then expel it from your system satisfactorily. So when we look at the choices we are making, when we're compromising our health in any way at all, in pursuit of a belief, a vision or a goal, we really are being asked to look at the appropriateness of those choices, those life choices. Because we know what stress does to the body physical, the body mental, and the body emotional. On a physical level, it absolutely lowers the immune system. It means we are less able to fight off infection, virus, disease. On a mental and emotional level, it makes us less tolerant. It makes us less able to take the knocks, what do we call it in traditional acupuncture, the insults and injuries that are thrown in our direction. We can't bat them off as adeptly as if we were fully balanced and healthy and happy. So whatever we're pursuing right now in terms of life choices, I would really encourage us all to look at what impact those have on our health. Viruses do not differentiate the rich from the poor, the educated from the ill-educated, people living with a fairly good standard of living, those below a good standard of living. Everybody is being affected one way or the other. So one thing we can do is to protect, ring fence, protect, preserve, rebuild, and love ourselves back into health again. So that's my little observation for today. Should we reprioritise our health? Should we reprioritise what society does in terms of supporting its people's health? Should we look to see how our behaviours, the actions that we take, the choices that we make contribute to improving our health and the health of those around us? What can we do without going into fear for our very survival? Because that is just a stressor that will reduce our immune system, lower our immune system, make it less effective. How do we look at the way we're moving forward in life in a positive way, in an optimistic and hopeful way that allows us to make choices that are appropriate for us and appropriate for the health and well-being of ourselves as individuals and part of a collective of our local society and our global community. So I leave that with you, and I hope that you are finding your way through this and that when you come out the other side you feel prepared, emboldened to make those changes. You can hear the truth in your heart so much more clearly, because let's be honest, every day sounds like a Sunday. If we can hear the bird song, if we can hear the bees buzzing from 20 metres, we should be able to now hear the truth in our heart, because it's our hearts that will guide us toward making the right choices in life, the ones that keep us aligned with our true values and our beliefs, not our head. Our head, our brain does not do that function. So on an upbeat note, with my hand on my heart, sending my love, light and blessings to you all, I wish you a lovely and sunny afternoon. Take care. Blessed be.